Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. You know, it's really unfortunate what's happening here. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I've been on this story of the Epstein files for a very long time. It's basically how I started my YouTube career. But now what's happening with the Epstein files is a complete manipulation. It's a bastardization. Democrats are attempting to co-opt it, not to get justice, not to release the files and really look into what actually happened and who's really implicated, but to weaponize the entire thing against President Trump. And I'm not saying that the Epstein files are now a hoax and that they should remain hidden from the public. Absolutely not. They should be released in their entirety. But it's obvious that Democrats don't really want that. No, they just want to selectively drop information and use Epstein as a tool. And I think it actually goes well beyond just the little fraudulent document dump that they engaged in this week. It goes a whole lot frickin' deeper. It seems like Democrats, here's the latest twist, have been colluding with Epstein. Kind of explains the Michael Wolff back and forth email chain. Well, now we've got more evidence on top of it. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein was texting Stacey Plaskett right ahead of the second Trump indictment push. Really, some shocking stuff. But once again, exposing what's going on here, how the Democrat Party turned a true grotesque scandal involving some major power players, and they've attempted to turn it into a communication strategy to go after the evil orange man. They're not interested in accountability for the victims. No, they were cultivating an intelligence source of sorts. I guess trying to build another Steele dossier kind of scandal involving this guy, turning Jeffrey Epstein into a weapon that they were going to aim directly at President Trump's face. This is an absolute frickin' bombshell, and it proves that the Democrats are exactly guilty of what they're accusing Donald Trump of. Classic left-wing projection. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we've got some really interesting reporting here. Just take a look.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump Organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
It's absolutely wild. It's borderline unbelievable, but again, that's the word that constantly comes to mind, just naturally. But nothing about this is unbelievable. It's par for the freaking course with these Dems. And of course, what does it tell you? Well, it tells you that these Democrats were never interested in following the facts wherever they may lead. They weren't interested in achieving actual justice. Jeffrey Epstein was a freaking monster who had to be stopped, but they weren't interested in stopping that monster. No, they wanted to use him. They wanted to wield him. They wanted that monster in their back pocket. They wanted to keep him as a political asset. And that's the exact same energy that you see in the Michael Wolff email chains. He wasn't courting Jeffrey Epstein to expose a trafficking network, to rip off the lid of the client list and all the power players that might have been involved. No, he was solely focused on trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to vaguely implicate President Trump so that at the right moment, he could drop that email chain in coordination with the Democrats when they needed a headline. Oh, we failed on the shutdown. Well, here we go. Let's use the Michael Wolff Epstein weapon. It's absolutely freaking wild. And again, when I say par for the course, I mean it because this is what the Democrats do. Remember this moment with Michael Cohen? A little bit of a Freudian slip, an accidental telling of the truth.
I got 8 seconds. What did you talk to Mr. Schiff about?
I spoke to Mr. Schiff about topics that were going to be raised at the upcoming hearing.
Whoa. Not just what time to show up, actually what you're going to talk about?
the gentleman time to respond.
He let it slip that he was coordinating with Adam Schiff before his hearing. They were coaching, going back and forth. What are we going to talk about? He wasn't a witness. He became a Democrat political asset. And that's exactly how they do it. They don't build cases. They manufacture narratives. They create false accusations or assumptions and then leak it to the media and run with the story. You know, I'm convinced that Michael Cohen was one of their assets since the early days. That whole thing that went down with Stormy Daniels, the way that it was set up, well, that's exactly what it was. It was a setup. And that's exactly what they're doing with Epstein, repackaging old debunked nonsense, dropping selective emails, slapping redactions where they don't belong in order to insinuate that there is a victim, even though the victim in this case has very clearly, under oath, stated unequivocally that Donald Trump never did anything to her. She never even met him. She was never in the same room with President Trump. He was never at the islands. He was never at Jeffrey Epstein's house. We hear that from every single other Jeffrey Epstein victim as well.
I do have to ask, and I know, and it's just something that I think we're compelled to at this moment, with the attention on President Trump, with these questions around a pardon, did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
And so they had to alter the document to make it seem as if that was the case. It's all about falsely creating the illusion that Donald Trump was a criminal co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, even though if you actually analyze the evidence that they have dropped, it does the exact opposite.
Connection to Epstein, as shown in those emails, according to Epstein, is unsavory, and it's not good.
Is that new information that he knew Jeffrey Epstein? Is it new information that Trump excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago? Is it the only new information that we got this week off those emails was that somebody from the New York Times was advising Jeffrey Epstein, and we learned tonight from the Washington Post that Jeffrey Epstein was programming Democratic members of Congress. We didn't learn anything we didn't already know about Donald Trump, which was Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and now Democrats are aligning themselves with Jeffrey Epstein because Orange Man bad.
Did you read those 3 emails? They are really bad looking. They are optics are terrible.
They are not.
Oh my God. Okay, they're putting Trump with one.
Exactly. And look at what happens when you point out the facts. The brain-dead Democrat bot, out of ammunition, immediately pivots to he was in the same room as a victim. That's Virginia Giuffre. Again, how freaking dumb do these people think we are? But this is what they do. They lose the argument on the merits, then run back to a contradictory claim. And what's crazy is that the core of the allegation, the only thing that they actually have, and you'll notice, that's the one talking point they're most confident saying, the core accusation is that Trump knew that Jeffrey Epstein was engaging in his behaviors and he did nothing. Well, first of all, that claim is a little bit ridiculous. What was President Trump supposed to do? He cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. He kicked him out of his country club as well as Ghislaine Maxwell. From what I understand, he was also cooperating with authorities. But what was President Trump supposed to do? Tackle him? Cuff him? Be the judge, jury, and executioner? I mean, come on. The FBI knew. Since 2001, we know this. They've had information on Jeffrey Epstein. Federal authorities have for decades, and they chose not to pursue. That failure sits with the federal institutions. And meanwhile, this accusation that Trump knew and did nothing, well, if anything, I think that applies to them and not Trump, because apparently they were the ones texting casually with Epstein, colluding with him to take down President Trump. Meanwhile, that was in 2019. Plus, when the whole freaking world knew what Jeffrey Epstein was up to. They knew. And not only did they do nothing, but they engaged with the guy and tried to bring him on basically as a political ally. What does that tell you about them? Well, I think it tells you all that you need to know. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.